bit nerve-wracking too. I don't know, for no reason that there's anything nerve-wracking in the actual show. It's just that it's Thursday, and next Thursday, 7 days from tonight, I'm gonna be shitting bricks. It's pretty. It's just crazy how the event is just here, and I'm excited. I really am. But it's just one of those things, you know. And we're essentially a week out, and this is the last live show of the week because tomorrow is another scheduled day off, where that means it's just catch up. It's all of the things that need to be caught up on in the office and also in the studio. I have to do a lot of storing of things and moving things around, and so that'll be good. That'll be a good night. And then tomorrow night, remember everybody, 7 p.m. I've worked this out so then when there are days off, there's almost always something in its place. And with these every other Fridays for right now, the Fridays that I'm off, the 7 o'clock premiere of the Saturday special the week before is going to go live. So tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on Rumble, there is going to be a premiere of last week's Saturday night special with my cousins. And again, when I start really getting into the groove of something, depending on what we talk about, it's going to be premiered on YouTube and Rumble at the same time. But this was just too many music videos and too much copyrighted content and all that other stuff, which I think should just be fine because it's commentary, it's satire, it's just joking and all that stuff. But I just, you know, it's like you're going into a museum. Don't touch anything. Don't do anything. Just walk through. Don't. That's what YouTube is like. Don't touch anything. Don't look at anything. You know. And you break, you buy, or I don't know, whatever the hell else you want to throw onto the top of that. But it's going to be a good one tonight. I got Jay Gulinello in the room. We're going to get to him in just a second, and then it's just going to be mixed topics from around the news and the country and whatever the hell's going on with you guys and gals at home. We'll open up the lines around 8:30 tonight. We are going to bring Mollee from KetoBrainz on for the last half hour of the show, just to check in with her and, you know, again, a week out, how exciting everything is, and then a little bit of a BPC 157 Wolverine peptide update, because now there are people in the audience, including myself, who are dabbling with it. And some interesting testimonials coming in. So that, among other things, will be nice. It's also Badlands night. So hello to all of our friends on watching us on Badlands Media. I hope you guys and gals, no matter where you're watching across the several platforms that we're on right now, that you get involved, you call in, you send some super chats, some rumbles, some gold pills, whatever the hell it is. Be a part of the conversation. And let's create some momentum here. All right. Well, we will be right back with that. Don't go anywhere.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's ride!
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. That was just a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a sizzle. And now here we are, and it's me on one side of the room, and it is Jay on the other side of the room. And you know what, Jay?
What?
A little bit over, just a little bit over 7 days from now, there's going to be a lot of people are going to be able to just
On the other side of the room.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to be able to take a look at every dimension of this place and go, wow, it looks a lot different. Yes, and I always get that a lot.
What's the bet? Smaller or larger than they expected?
People usually think that it is usually they think that the room was smaller. Based on how I have everything cornered with the cameras, I try to get everybody in corners and I patch the whole thing together on screen. But when they're in it's a 400 square foot room.
No, it's a pretty decent. I don't remember when I first walked in what I thought, but it's a pretty decent sized room, and then the high ceilings help.
Oh, and this is not even as high as it goes.
Right.
They dropped these ceilings in 2016.
Yeah.
There's about 3 feet above it, and some ceiling fans that did absolutely ass. They did absolutely nothing.
Not in an old building like this.
They did not keep anything cool, and on top of all of that stuff, we had an echo in here we couldn't compete with.
Yeah.
So it's the cork does a lot. Otherwise, I'm not a real big fan of drop ceilings.
No, for this room it makes sense though.
You gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is great. I mean, I can't believe it's 1 week away, given all the time we've spent talking about it and theorizing in our minds. And pretty soon, there's going to be a whole bunch of people in here eating organ meats, and it's going to be great.
Yeah. That's it. We're actually just going to have a bowl of organs.
Have fun on Friday night. There's still tickets available.
Another thing too is I'm starting to go through all the things that people sent in. For example, Grace, really graceful, sent in 2. This is my studio copy of the Deep State Encyclopedia by Really Graceful.
I got to get myself one of those.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
This, behold the pale, whatever.
Pale horse, yeah.
Pale horse. These are the kinds of things that need to be together on the same shelf. That's why I said I need a Bill Cooper copy over here to go with Grace's encyclopedia.
Uh-huh.
But she sent me 2 copies of this to work into prize baskets and things like that.
Wow.
Matt from Cultivate Elevate sent over, everything that's in his storefront in triplicate. He sent it over. I told, my cousin Sherry and our friend Hot Legs out there have been putting together really incredible like silent auction baskets too. And I said, what I love, because we just have so much extra stuff. Mm-hmm. I said, I really just want this to be like a Santa Claus situation where I'm giving shit people all throughout the night.
Absolutely.
For example, in there, I have the on-air neon sign that used to hang behind Matt in that corner.
Okay.
It still works. It's just that we redecorated. Mm-hmm. I want to give that to somebody. I want to give some of the flags we used to wrap in here. This one over here, I don't know if you know this person. You know who that is?
It looks like Matt.
Yeah, it's Matt. This is Matt. Everybody.
This is what he looks like on non-show nights.
I know. So this right here is the life-size tiger that my cousin had found so that Matt can do a self-defense demo.
It's so soft.
I know, but it's also heavy.
Oh, yeah. I didn't actually pick it up.
It's soft, but it's dense.
It's pretty dense. I agree.
And I don't know. I have to give that to somebody too.
I want some of these things. Can I quit planning the show with you, buy a ticket, show up, and enter myself into the...
That is a conflict of interest.
I
know. So I'm trying to... I'm going to play the role of Santa Claus next week.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to be your elf.
No, that's not going to happen. Don't worry.
All right.
That's not going to... But tonight we got plenty of stuff to do. I have... we can go to the Babylon Bee just for a second. Here's one for you. This is kind of not funny.
Oh, God.
The headline from the Babylon Bee. Democrats demand common sense prayer control. And remember, this is the mayor that genuflected and prayed before the golden casket, I believe.
Oh, this goofball.
Yeah. We have a golden casket guy over here that is...
overacting and overselling the whole thing about somebody he never met, a career criminal kind of thing. Yeah.
No, it's nuts what's been going on with the whole thing. This one right here, again, dark but funny. New Clue board game for liberals just has you blame the murder weapon over and over again. So and there it is, the perpetrator. Those don't exist.
Oh boy, those guys are good over there at the Babylon Bee. They always know how to cut to the to the heart of the matter.
Yeah, they get it. They get it. Sometimes they miss the mark, I think, but more often than not, we've had a lot of fun with them over the years.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I guess that's the big thing. I'm out of my mind with how a couple of different episodes recently, all the subject matter has converged. We've talked about mental illness, and especially when we were watching Reels on Monday night, to film what's going to essentially become Joy Scrolling episode 7, and that left us with a lot to be said about children and how they're being destroyed and how they are just, they're being made into psychopaths, sociopaths. They're being made absolutely, crazy in many ways, emotionally unstable. They don't know how to handle any kind of adversity. And that's probably because they have been kept in an infantile and fantasy state by the people who are supposed to be there and helping them transition into adulthood, not into some other identity.
The actual transition.
Yes, yeah. It's just it's nuts. So we've had that come out because, of course, the murders the other day are very closely related to a lot of the more common mental illness situations we have and trends we have going on over here. And then there is also the political unaccountability for everything that is said on a non-murder day.
Yeah. I saw a few clips of just when you think and I pretty much know how much I despise the media. And just when you think, that there's that old saying, you don't hate the media enough. And every once in a while I see a clip of like MSNBC or whatever they're called now, MS Now, or what they're going to be called. I think NBC wanted to pull their name.
They're changing their name?
Yeah. Because I don't think NBC wants to be associated with whatever that thing is, whatever that,
Gotcha.
that living train wreck is. But I saw a clip this morning. They had a doctor on, and I don't know any of their names. I just recognize their faces and their hyena type demeanor, right? I don't actually know any of their names. Gentlemen rambling about how Make America Healthy Again was a farce, is a joke of a movement, because how can you possibly make America healthy again if you're firing all these experts and you're removing you're removing mRNA technology and you're doing all these, right? And I always say to you, Frank, you can look at the CDC's own, and that's a whole other thing, right? They're trying to get rid of the CDC person who they just brought in because she's not in line with Make America Healthy Again, which is their prerogative. We voted Donald Trump in. Donald Trump brought in Robert F. Kennedy. And if you're not in line with Kennedy's vision or Trump's vision of the country, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, right? But even the CDC's own statistics say that 4 in 10 adults have a chronic disease. 4 in 10. Sorry. 6 in 10. Sorry, I undersold it. 6 in 10, 60% of the country of adults, chronic disease, and 4 in 10 have more than one chronic disease. So all these jackasses on the behind the anchor desks continue to tout their fantastic track record, right? It's like we have a society that is trending in the wrong direction, financially, health-wise, in a variety of different ways. The approach that we're taking is not working. And then anytime anybody comes along who wants to do something different, it is just met with complete and total resistance. So, I would ask the simple question. So you just think we should continue on the same path? I just told you that 60% of adults have a chronic disease. You're a failure. You're the doctor sitting on that panel. You're a failure. And you're just telling us that, well, these are the world's greatest experts. Well, the world's greatest experts, they suck. They suck at their job.
I know.
You're not immune from sucking at your job because you have a PhD or an MD. You can still suck.
Do you understand? Do you remember that weirdo Marie Harf that used to work at I forget what State Department or something? I don't know where the hell. I remember people like this, and I sometimes their names stick because of how incredible some of the things that they say are.
Uh-huh.
But these are the same types of people who, when they have all of the power, when they have all of their bases covered, and they are firmly in control of the White House and the bureaucracy and in the media, when they were a lot more steady in their standing, they would say some things like we have to stop climate change because climate change affects people. And then we start getting into racial implications of climate change.
Right.
We start talking about how the real reason why that terrorism is a problem in the Middle East and North Africa and all that stuff is because the economy is not that good and everybody needs jobs. Yes. Yeah. Because as if we're only, I think about things like that, especially the terrorism and the jobs thing. Like, well, they need jobs. Okay, yeah. Well, I remember the ethical dilemma debates in middle school and high school, and we start talking about philosophy and ethics and things about, would you steal an apple or a loaf of bread to feed your starving children? Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody who goes from, okay, well, I missed a couple of meals this month. I'm ready to start cutting off people's heads just for whatever, and raiding oil fields.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
extreme.
if you're expecting people to own up to anything, including the state of people's health that is being inherited right now from you, like you said, or an economy that is being inherited from you. I mean, it's coming from everybody, your worldview that you're saying that this is ridiculous. I have some stuff over here that's going to back up exactly what you say. I don't know.
I mean, the failure is on multiple levels, Frank. And this is the thing, right? Anthony Fauci was a complete failure, right? Allergy, infectious disease, autoimmune conditions, these things have been on the rise. And he was in charge. I think he took over in 1984, I believe, ironically enough. But in no other position in the world, in a true free market system, do you fail upwards like this. And I just want to be able to provide, because these talking heads, they just spew this nonsense, and they only have guests on who support their twisted worldview. And no one is allowed to say, well, I mean, we failed. No one can admit, Anthony Fauci never, over the course of COVID, I've never heard the guy say, I was wrong. And if you, as a scientist, if you can't admit you were wrong, because I guarantee you at some point, any real scientist has been wrong. That's part of the scientific process. Being wrong is how you learn how to be right about something, right? So Anthony Fauci never said he was wrong. The ego takes over for some of these people. And then the people that suffer are not them. It's the rest of us who have to comply with these insane ideas that they come up with. Again, and I'm not even just talking about COVID. COVID was the perfect microcosm. It was the perfect condensed version of all the other things I've seen in the health sciences field for the last 10 years. COVID was just the perfect consolidation of that. So you could just see it in real time, and you could see it happening so rapidly. Usually it takes, 10 to 20 years. And so people, they don't understand the failures, right? Like, for instance, cholesterol, right? Cholesterol is the big bad boogeyman. Heart disease is the number one killer, despite the fact that statins are a $1 trillion industry. So you're dumping the most profitable drug into the market to take care of the leading cause of death in the United States, and it's not working. So instead of saying we were wrong about this in the first place, and the fact is cholesterol is not driving heart disease, we just double and triple down. But that happens over such a long period of time that people don't make the connection. But with COVID, we saw Anthony Fauci finally admit, oh, well, the 6-foot distancing rule was kind of made up out of whole cloth. He didn't say I was wrong. He just admitted that it was made up out of whole cloth. So that was an entry point for so many of us to say, I wonder if the experts, they can be wrong. And the answer is, not surprisingly to this audience, yes, of course they can be wrong. But the talking heads in the news media throw cover. And so we never really get to the heart of this. And anytime you build, the last thing I'll say about this is that anytime you build an industry on a problem, the cancer industry is the perfect example. I'm not saying that the researchers in the labs and the genuinely good people don't want to solve the problem of cancer. I'm saying that the machinery that pushes the cancer industry forward doesn't want to solve the problem. And until you can overcome that intellectual hurdle, that the people that are running these institutions, these industries don't see the world the way you and I do, which is just out of the lens of I want to help people. Most people are just good people and they want to do right by other people, but not everybody is like that. No. And if you have that childlike mentality, you're never going to be able to reckon with the fact that, Well, when it comes time to line up and get your flu shot, you can't even fathom the fact that some people just want to sell you a flu shot, whether it's effective or not, or whether it's safe or not.
Well, let me jump on that, because the real you're talking about issues, experts, and whatever. I say that what I have become a little bit more comfortable putting out there is that perhaps many of the experts don't even have the tools needed to be right about something. And I wanted to jump into this Donald Trump, this Trump administration cabinet meeting. Vigilant Fox put out a couple of highlights from the cabinet meeting, including RFK clips and all that stuff. But this was just today. I saw this one. This is from Secretary Kennedy. Said nutrition is about to be thrust directly into the doctor's education area and training, so that they can finally reverse diabetes by up to 50% through diet. This is what he's saying, okay? Here's a quote. Right now, actually, let me just let him say it, because I don't, it's YouTube.
One of the things that we were going to talk about on this show is our newest initiative to try to get the medical schools to start teaching nutrition. Right now, only about 15% of doctors say that they feel competent to give nutrition advice. 7 out of 10 Americans die from diet-related diseases. So, and you can reverse up to 50% of diabetes cases just by changing the diet.
So now that he's got the, now I know this, I know you're champing at the bit now. So I can put it out there clearly, here are the quotes from Secretary Kennedy. Right now, only about 15% of doctors say that they feel competent to give nutrition advice. 7 out of 10 Americans die from diet-related diseases. You can reverse up to 50% of diabetes cases by just changing the diet, and yet we have a medical community that is writing prescriptions largely and doesn't even feel competent. So we've gone to the medical schools, we've gone to the MCAT testing companies, and we've gone to the accreditors and said that we want to see real nutrition classes taught at every medical school in this country. Now,
there's a couple things here.
It's what's once you give those standards to the schools, how are they going to put the curriculum? Who's going to create the curriculum? And I don't know, but it's still, some of the comments on this are incredible, and one of them I thought was great. Put it in perspective. One person said, the Dank Informer said, "I find it ridiculous that modern medical advice has basically become, eat whatever you want. Here's a prescription to big pharma drugs, so you can take these pills to manage your conditions for the rest of your life."
Frank, I had so many things. So I remember I told the story when I first got into grad school, and my dean came to us and said that Yale Medical School, the students at Yale Medical, had petitioned to have a nutrition curriculum instituted in their college. So this would have been maybe 2018, 2019 maybe. And it got all the way up the chain, and then at the last minute, the kibosh was put on it. So the medical students recognized the deficit in their education, that it was incomplete. And I would say, incomplete isn't even the word. To not study nutrition as a doctor is to misunderstand the greatest input into the human body in terms of, quantity. You're putting kilograms of food in your mouth. You're only putting milligrams of pharmaceuticals. Like nutrition, for any doctor to pretend that nutrition doesn't matter is not worthy of being a doctor, to be honest. But it was killed at the last moment, and one can argue and imagine why that would be the case, right? I mean, how much money does Yale get from the pharmaceutical industry? I don't know the answer to that. I'm just saying that may be one reason. But I just think it's fascinating, because I had doctors at the hospital that I worked at that would say things just like that, Frank. Oh, I can eat all the eggs I want now. I'm on a statin. Or I can eat all the sweets I want. I just inject more insulin. I'm like, oh my God. If that's the mentality of the doctor, and they're practicing their life, they're living their life that way, how do you think they're going to treat patients? What I did at the hospital, the only tools I had were lifestyle. And I know that Kennedy didn't use the word cure, because if you use that word, then, I don't know, maybe he can get away with it because he is HHS. But normally you use the word cure, and the FDA and the FTC, and they're all after you because you can't cure disease. What are you, crazy? You can't do that. But to put in remission, whatever word you want to use, diabetes, I did that at the hospital. I did it for multiple people with just nutrition. I mean, some of the people didn't even really change much else in their lifestyle, just nutrition alone. That's how powerful that weapon was. So, I mean, the fact that we're still at this point, we're still discussing whether this is an appropriate response to institute a nutrition program in with, medical education is beyond me. And again, you'll have the talking heads say, this is just a waste of time, right? I hear people say that. This is a waste of time.
No, you have to see this next thing I have.
Oh, great.
You have to see this.
You're trying to give me an aneurysm.
Yeah. No, this is for everybody's going to just absolutely love this. Now, you remember when the last time you were on, one of the stories I pulled were the ninnies in the media who were going after Donald Trump and criticizing the school PE requirements.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And saying petty things like, Donald Trump couldn't do a mile. Why would you expect a 12-year-old? Things like that, like petty shit like that. Okay, just to pee in everybody's Cheerios on everything.
You got to find something.
Oh yeah, well they found it again. Look at this. 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups in under 10 minutes. What could go wrong? Now, recently, so the New York Times went and found fitness experts to run caution.
More experts.
They wanted to caution people against jumping into a difficult routine that was suggested by Robert Kennedy and Pete Hegseth, because these two got together and they did some kind of a CrossFit, or I don't know if it's military based or whatever the hell it was, but they did about 100 push-ups, 50 pull-ups. They did a challenge, and they're challenging each other. Okay? Now, look at how far the New York Times had to go to make ninny, bitchy, nitpicky ninnies. That's what I would say. The bitchy, nitpicky ninnies. That's what they are. Last week, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. challenged Pete Hegseth to a test of fitness in which each of them would do 50 pull-ups and 100 push-ups in 10 minutes or less. Try to get under 5 minutes, Kennedy said. And the Pete and Bobby challenge, as Mr. Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, called it, circulated widely in videos posted to social media by both men as well as to the official YouTube account of the Department of Health. The challenge might have seemed novel to some, but high-volume calisthenic couplets like this are nothing new, and fitness experts caution they may not be for everyone. So just think about that one sentence.
Yeah.
The challenge might have seemed novel to some, like, they might have just invented something.
Just so you know, it's not new, but it's also dangerous.
Yes. Just so you know, they're not creative people.
Oh, dear.
Don't give them any creative points, but at the same time, don't try it.
This was definitely written by someone who's never done a push-up.
No, they're all fucking crazy over there. But listen, here we go. It continues. It shouldn't be. So they brought in Navy SEALs. I don't know what the hell it was. And it comes down here. Let's see here. Combine. Where did I have it? Oh, here you go. Utah-based athlete who's part of the World Fitness Project, a functional fitness competitor. They brought them all on to talk about you should work up to this gradually. You should do this.
Sure.
Despite all this, Mr. Kennedy, who has routinely talked about the benefits of fitness, seemed to invite average Americans to challenge themselves physically in the same way that he and Mr. Hegseth had, with a post on X that read 50 push-ups, 100 push-ups, 50 pull-ups. Who's up for the challenge?
Right. God forbid we challenge people to better themselves.
Right. And again, what they're trying to do here is say, think about he's going to get somebody hurt.
Won't someone consider the children?
First of all, if you are not able to do 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups, you can't fake it through.
No.
Okay.
Especially not on the pull-ups.
You will absolutely learn your limits immediately.
Which is a great thing.
And you know what that it tells you where you are. So the first time you go out there and try to do this, even in modified fashion, okay, you will learn where you are and what the next step to that would be. You know, it's for some people to do, 50 push-ups and 10 pull-ups is a life goal.
And the point is to constantly dangle the carrot in front of yourself. There is no end to health or fitness. There is no end of the journey until you're dead.
Well,
you know, I mean, like even me, I constantly find things to challenge myself. That is the whole point. Who wrote this, Frank?
I don't know.
I just wanted to pull up an image of this person because I already have one in my head and I was curious.
Wait for this next line.
Okay.
Multiple fitness experts. Okay, they have to find them. We're not going to give you their names. There's so many.
There's too many to list.
There's too many fitness experts to list. But multiple fitness experts believe such a regimen is not feasible for majority of Americans. All Americans know that this is not. When you look at Pete Hegseth and you look at Robert Kennedy Jr., even RFK at 70 years old, this guy is working out much more than the average American is.
Of course.
Okay, especially at his age.
Yeah.
So the fact that they had to go and cite multiple fitness experts to talk about whether or not this is feasible for the average American, when the average 17-year-old is not, it would not be admissible in
right.
In the military because we're so out of fucking shape.
But I don't even understand the point of that statement in the first place. Yeah, and part of the problem is that it's not feasible. We need to make it something that is a little bit more routine, that young men and women can actually perform physical tasks.
Here you go. Here's more.
I don't want more, Frank.
No. Oh no. Listen, they found a personal trainer based in Toronto.
Oh.
Okay.
Another unnamed expert.
His name is Chris Smits.
Oh, okay. He has a name.
Don't take his. Please.
No, sorry.
This is his reputation you're dealing with. Most people can't even perform 5 strict push-ups with proper form or a single pull-up without compensating, said Chris Smits, a personal trainer based in Toronto.
Is Chris watching right now?
Hopefully.
I'm going to do push-up. I'm going to do 5 push-ups right now just to show Chris Smits.
Yeah. Pushing for such high numbers without the necessary strength foundation can quickly lead to poor form, overcompensation, and high risk of injury, including serious muscle strains or tears. Nobody was telling them to do that.
Can you imagine? I want to see Chris's client outcomes, right? No. What I want you to do is just sit here and stare at the equipment for a while, because that's going to be much safer. I don't actually want you to move any weight around. Just look at it and see how you feel about it.
Let me see who Caleb Marsh is.
Is this the guy who wrote it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he have the problem glasses?
No. Hold on. Wait a second. Here. Wait. Where are we?
Are there pronouns in the bio?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Where's the Instagram?
That's where I was going to go. I was going to see if we could find the Instagram. I think we should do the presidential challenge right here, Frank. Let's just scrap the rest of the show and you and I just do 100 push-ups. Let's just let people watch us do push-ups for the rest of the hour.
I think this is him.
Oh, okay.
So
can't really tell much.
Well, listen, it doesn't matter. I know appearances don't mean really much. It doesn't even matter if you are somebody who's really not going to be able to, haul ass in that respect. Maybe what's best for you is just something a little bit more low key, a little bit more functional, a little bit more, but
I just don't understand where we lost the drive for excellence, physical excellence, intellectual excellence.
It came before what you were saying though. When you have a group of people who only operate from a standpoint of, I have to be on the other side of the fence of everything where these people, where to the point where even if Donald Trump or anybody associated with him come out and paint in a positive light, in a proactive way, that getting out of the house, going to the monkey bars in your local playground and trying to get a rep in. And if that doesn't work, obviously you can't fake a pull-up. Right. Go get yourself a TRX strap and start working at different angles. Whatever the hell it is. It doesn't matter. You don't have to look at that and say, I want to do that because RFK. But why not just say, I'm going to go out for a walk.
Haven't you? I mean,
what I was going to, let me just finish it up is, it's it gets to the point where even suggesting that daily physical activity is, they can't bring themselves to agree with this group of people, that they have to find a way to nitpick it to cause separation, or they need to be able to nitpick it so that they can be on the outside looking in to say, no, this is the real way you should have done it. You're doing that wrong. Even though, to your point before, you were in charge of everything and you didn't do anything right. And everybody is in a fucked up situation. So it's like to work at the New York Times or to do any of this and to live with this worldview is not really to be a whole person. That's why I say they're not whole people. Yeah. They're not complete. I mean, they have human needs. They have to sleep and eat. I'm sure they have social lives and friends. I'm sure that they love people. I really do. But they're not complete people because they actually cannot charter an independent course in their life because everything has to be run through the filter of putting distance between perceived political foes. Mm-hmm. And it gets to the point where you do goofy ass shit like writing these articles. Yeah. Like this, your life is writing goofy ass articles, making a problem where there was none. They were not telling people who have been leading sedentary lifestyles to go and rip off 50 push-ups right now.
Yeah, they're not laughing at a guy in a wheelchair who can't get up and, do pull-ups. But whatever happened to striving? I remember watching, as a kid, like watching Rocky movies and thinking, man, I would love to be, watching him do like one-arm push-ups, right? I was always like, how do you do that? How do you do a one-arm push-up? So it made me not just physically get stronger, but then actually go look up the technique, because there's certainly an element of balance. And so I actually worked on that and was able to figure out how to do it. But that was only because it was something that looked completely unachievable. And I was inspired by how cool of a physical feat that was. But Frank, I think also this is the whole equity BS. Right? Equality is great. Everyone has a starting place that's the same. But equity, the same outcomes? No. You get out what you put in. And if whatever his name was, doesn't want to try to figure out how to get 100 push-ups, then he's not going to have the same outcome as me, and that's fine. You don't get to have the same outcome as me because I put in the work and you didn't. And people like that, they can't handle a world that's like that because some people may get ahead of other people. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. This is the whole equity bullshit. We don't need equity, right? We don't need that. People will get what they get because that's what they put in.
The phrase I always loved was there is no quality with equality.
Yeah.
That whole balancing act between something that is quality and then something that is forced into a state of equality. Yeah. It's just, you make things equal. I mean, that's what they'll say. These are people who won't even really give people out there who have achieved really incredible things too much credit because they don't want it to seem like their achievement is in any way, shape, or form objectively more impressive than somebody else's.
Better, right.
When it is. Yes, it is.
Right. And again, it gives people something to shoot for. If you rob the world of that, then you have just a whole bunch of mediocrity, which is honestly what I think they want because it makes them feel better about being mediocre.
The other thing there too is, and I love to talk to people like my buddy Sal about this, who does, the strongman competitions and all that. There is a place for reps for actually going after numbers. Mm-hmm. There's a place for that. But though even me personally, I haven't been there in a while. When it comes to push-ups or dips or pull-ups, I usually these days I'll give myself just on a normal day, I'll give myself 3 sets of all, one workout in each of those categories. So it'll be like a pull-up, either, a neutral grip pull-up or wide grip, and then you go to your dips, and then you go to a squat, something you can do for the legs or anything like that, and you go 3 times around. And what I usually do is again, it's only form, and it's only controlled muscle recruitment. And at that point, I go until what I know, the point that that you reach where you think that, okay, I'm at the point where I only have 2 reps that I'm confident I'd be able to get 2 more reps at perfect form. That's usually where I stop.
Okay.
So that one round, I might, maybe the first round I will do 25 pull-ups just in one clip. And then perhaps by the third round, I end the third set with only about 12 to 13 pull-ups.
So essentially you're doing drop sets.
Well, yeah. Because, you're increasing. It's actually the load increases as your reps go down when you're dealing with body weight.
Right.
And so there are things that you can have a conversation there about with, the numbers that you're chasing and what kind of expectations to give yourself. But Bobby Kennedy Jr. and Pete Hegseth were not giving everybody a one-size-fits-all fitness prescription.
Oh my God,
it's so ridiculous. Stupid. And to have to live like that and work inside the media and have that be what drives you're going to wake up the next day, that you have to compile an article like that, and it's just so depressing to me.
Yeah,
I mean, it's funny on our end. We're reading it, in an ironic sense. It's parody, but and also just please remember, whatever the hell you do, just as a reminder here, this was the heroic face of HHS as of January 19th of this year. As of January 19th of this year, this hero, this is the hero that we had at HHS.
I mean, there's a meme that had like six different health ministers / figures from 6 different countries around the world, and when you saw them collectively, it was a ghastly collection. And again, I am the outside does reflect the health of the inside. It does, right? I mean, I'm sorry, but it does, and it's not a personal judgment. But if you don't have the very tenets of health, I mean, this is the first time I ever remember having someone like RFK in the position that he's in. I don't ever remember a Secretary of Health being as fit. It's not even just, looking like he looks, but obviously being as physically fit as he is. That's an objectively good thing for people to look up to. But again, I just don't think these people, I've said it a million times, him or Donald Trump, they could save a child from a burning building and they'd be pissed off that they put firefighters out of business. I mean, they just need to have a reason to bitch. And come September, you think about this, Frank. I mean, the Brownstone Institute did a whole article on the aim to get rid of Kennedy by September. Why? Because a whole bunch of stuff is coming out in September. Like I think he said at the cabinet secretary meeting, autism, right? They think they have some leads on the proximal cause of autism. Well, do you think...
Hold on here. I got it right here.
Oh, okay.
Let's just listen. This is from the cabinet meeting yesterday.
Bobby, autism, if I could I don't want to go too long because we have a lot of people, but the autism is such a tremendous horror show, what's happening in our country and some other countries, but mostly our country. How are you doing on that?
We are doing very well. We will have announcements as promised in September. We're finding certain interventions now that are clearly, almost certainly causing autism.
Oh boy.
Interventions, huh?
I mean, seriously. Seriously, Frank. I mean, so if you don't think, this is what people have to understand. People come to me all the time, and people I respect, and I just don't agree with them on this. They're like, oh, RFK's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's bought and paid for. Like, with all due respect, you have no idea the machine that he is up against and the machine that has been put in place for decades in order to protect this cash cow. And we all know the cash cow I'm talking about, I'm trying to protect us on YouTube here, but this is what I mean. So if you don't think that is going to be, when the day that drops, we're like in the eye of the storm right now, but if it's what we think it is, and he drops this with robust scientific evidence, actual evidence, not the make-believe. I talk to people online all the time. Oh, they already did those studies.
He already gave us the CDC hepatitis B numbers.
And people lost their minds. Right.
1,135%.
It's crazy. So if that comes out in September, what do you think the landscape's going to look like? You're going to see a whole bunch of more, hatchet jobs on RFK. An article like that about making fun of him for saying, hey, you can't tell people to do a 100 push-ups, that's crazy talk. It's only going to
That'll
get ratcheted up.
that'll be a day at the beach.
Yeah, so
And we're going to be able to address those in September.
It's such a big day. I'm looking forward to that day because there's something wrong when you see the kind of numbers that you have today versus 20 years ago.
of course.
And those numbers, what are those numbers, Bob?
Well, in 1970, the biggest epidemiological study in history was done in Wisconsin. They looked at 900,000 children, and they were looking for autism. They knew what it looked like, and they were very, very precise about it, and they found an incident rate of 0.7, in other words, less than 1 per every 10,000 children. Today, our most recent numbers are 1 in every 31 kids. It's probably actually much worse than that because California, which has the best collection system, is reporting 1 out of every 19 children, American children, as autism, 1 in every 12.5 boys. So it's gone from less than 1 in 10,000 in 1970 to 1 in 12.5 boys.
Think of those numbers. It's
1 in 12.5 boys. And of course, the difference between the sexes is usually the blood-brain barrier. I keep hearing that that it's a lot easier to cross that barrier with boys than with girls.
It's, I mean, I just really want the audience to understand and digest those numbers, and that should piss you off. But what should piss you off even more are these scumbag doctors who don't have the curiosity to want to solve the problem and pretend like we don't know what's causing it, but it's definitely not that. That whole attitude has got to go in every way, shape, or form. And this is what I mean about these people. They don't actually want to solve the problem because industries have been built around the problem. Like I said earlier, when it comes to something like cancer, I'm not talking about the genuine, honest researcher or student who really goes in with the best of intentions, but the machinery that is holding these industries together. They don't want to solve the problem, especially if they know that they're the cause of it. Because who's going to lose out? They're going to lose out.
Yeah.
Reputationally, financially, in a variety of different ways. They don't want to solve the problem until you can wrap your mind around the fact that some people would rather sacrifice your children for their bottom line. You will never solve the problem. And that's where we are today. You know how many doctors I argue with online? Oh, those studies have already been done. Then send me the study. And guess what? I never get a study. So I applaud this, but it's going to be, if you don't think that this is going to be a media train wreck, unlike something you probably haven't seen in a very long time.
It's going to be pretty crazy.
It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be pretty nuts. It really is. Let's go to guys. Let's take your calls. I'm just going to open it up. It's really whatever you want to bring to the table. We're just chilling here. Mollee from KetoBrainz is going to join us to close out the show at 8:30. But it's 10 to 8. Call in and chill. Jay Britt says, "Hey Frank and Jay, YouTube never launched." Oh yes, it did. It just did that cloning thing again. There are people watching on YouTube. It's just it's every once in a while YouTube clones the episode that I scheduled there, and it goes live from a different URL. And at the end of the night, what I have to do is I have to go in and I have to upload the thumbnail again and put in all of the description information. It's a very strange thing. I don't know why it happens because it's not consistent. So yeah, we are live on YouTube. It's just on you go to Quite Frankly channel, you'll see the channel's live. It's just on a cloned stream.
Okay.
Let's see here. Shotzi. You know what? I'll save that for the second half, actually, because that'll probably be better when we have more guests on.
Okay.
Let's see. We're taking calls, 914-200-0269. There's lots of people watching across a lot of different platforms. Get off your arse and give us a buzz.
They want to just sit back and listen.
Yeah, I know. You can't do that tonight.
They want us to do the push-up challenge.
971, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Wow, I'm surprised I got answered so fast.
Well, you're the only one that called, so go ahead.
Cool. You were talking about something earlier about like kids essentially being groomed and just being raised horribly, and they end up doing these bad things. I had this experience recently. My sister, she's an alcoholic. We think she's on drugs, but we could never actually prove it. Anyway, she's had 2 sons in the span of the last 19 years. And one of them eventually he went to Job Corps, and from there he went to the Navy. He went to Job Corps like 16, he went to the Navy. He's just now in his first year of Navy. Good for him. The other son, who's now 13, stayed with her all this time. He hasn't gone to school a year in his life. And like, we knew there was some questionable things happening in the household. I'm trying to make the story short, sorry. But so anyway, she became homeless recently. And somehow we ended up with her 13-year-old. We made the garage into a wholly furnished room, carpeted everything, air conditioner. He moved in there. He started coming in the house. I have a 2-year-old, and I noticed he was doing some weird things. Long story short, I caught him the other day with having my son like play in his genital area.
Oh,
and
God. Wow.
And I think that mental illness is to blame. Like, I believe my sister has mental illness. She's been on every drug in the book, and it's just gotten to this point where I don't know if she did something to this kid, but there's no reason a 13-year-old should ever act like that to a 2-year-old.
Well, number one, is he out of the house?
We got him out of the house.
Got to get him out of the house immediately. That's number one.
Immediately.
And where's the mother?
I think she's homeless now. She hasn't even contacted him since he stayed here with us. He's been here maybe 2 months. And I noticed the behavior very soon. And I asked his dad, who apparently is homeless himself, even though he has a job. It makes no sense. And he said, well, there was this other instance. I'm like, excuse me?
Wow.
That apparently this has happened with a young girl that was like 3 or 4 at the time. And it's just, I'm at a loss. Like, how, this is my family. How are these things even? I'm so baffled. And I honestly, my heart hurts for my nephew that I had to kick out, even though that's what needed to happen.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, you know what? Before we were on the air, Jay and I were talking a little bit more candidly about all the stuff that pops up in the news, especially the murders and in Minnesota, the transgender aspect of the whole thing as well. Because I've been collecting a lot of information for some future shows, either with Jerry Marzinski, because there's definitely some sort of a trauma-based demonic possession element to this. But what you're talking about is just really the horrible expressions of trauma. And, you can't...
That's what I feel.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And now it doesn't... But it gets to the point where it doesn't make your 13-year-old nephew any less pitiable or even though obviously they are damaged and your 2-year-old is the priority. Yeah. Your 2-year-old is the absolute priority, and there's nothing that but on the same side, no matter how monstrous this 13-year-old has already become because of the environment they grew up in, that was done to an innocent child that once had a chance to be a normal person. It once had a chance. Yes. You're not born this shooter from Minnesota. You're not born that way. That doesn't happen.
Yes.
And,
I feel the same way.
It's
something you guys said resonated, and I had to share the story. I just felt like you guys resonated with me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing the story because it's also the perfect comparison, the nature versus nurture, right? So, I mean, in what I do, people want to blame genetics for everything. Oh, I'm genetically predisposed to this. They're now trying to tell kids that they can find this is the gene that's going to tell you you're going to be obese. That's nonsense. The genes can load the trigger, but the environment is so important. And you have the 2 nephews, one now who is, off in the Navy and hopefully will have all the success in the world. And then another one who's struggling remarkably, but, genetically they're obviously, very similar, but the nurture portion of it can really change the outcome. And that's the saddest thing. And that's why we have to be so careful with these young children and what they're exposed to when they're young, because it can turn bad quickly.
Listen, I'm sorry that you had to that's horrible to realize something like that is going on, but I'm just happy that you acted quickly, and I really also hope that you have a very secure home, because I would want to make sure that your nephew has no way of getting back inside the house for any reason whatsoever.
He's definitely miles away now.
Okay.
I worry he might be homeless with his dad.
course.
I don't know what happened, but most importantly, my son's safe now.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for calling.
Yeah.
That broached a very, very big topic. I'm sure it's not the end of it, but thank you for calling tonight.
Yeah, thanks for answering. Good talking to you guys.
Yeah, good talking.
Take care.
It's
unbelievable.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I agree with you, man. It's like these kids, I mean, what we're doing to them and what we're seeing it manifest. And this is what I mean about it. We're forcing children to play, and the adults created this delusion, right? Like if you want to go back to what happened in Minnesota. I mean, adults have created this fictional world where you force children to fight against nature and their own biology. Then you pump them full of pharmaceutical drugs and you wonder why things go bad. You know, obviously this is multifactorial, but we have to stop enabling this ridiculous conversation. We just have to stop. There are no adults in the room anymore. I mean, I guess we are the adults, the ones that still have sane heads on their shoulders. But there are way too many adults that are playing this game that are, I mean, I look at them squarely as the culprits here, because like you said, these young kids, they're not starting off like that. That young, innocent 2-year-old, you know, they're not starting off that way. They are being programmed into this insanity, and we have to do something about it.
No, but the people who are doing it are the people like that gimp mayor from Minneapolis who genuflected before the golden casket and then criticized people for leaning on prayer when evil manifests itself in godless places.
Right.
You know? And you could say, well, hey, and he even said these children were actually in mass. They were in, you know, and I'm talking about, when I say a godless place, I didn't mean church. I'm talking about, I'm talking about, look at the society.
Yeah.
You know? And the first thing liberals do, I mean, not all of them, but definitely, it's not the ones that are on television. It's not the most visible ones, that's for sure. There are just, everybody finds ways to insulate themselves from responsibility that needs to be taken for being part of the trauma that's being delivered to everybody.
Sure.
Now, we just had a caller talking about trauma being a traumatic, you know, there's always children, there's always people who their minds have been scrambled from a young age because of having bad parents and bad upbringing and just bad things happening to them. King called in last night to say he wanted to just put out there that, you know, not to say that it isn't a statistical fact that single parent homes, especially single mothers, whenever you remove a father from the household, the chances of having a successful child grow up and not have any issues and all that other stuff, it really plummets, but it doesn't disappear.
Of course not. Right. No, that's the whole concept of epigenetics. King's absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Because he also said on the other side that there are plenty of people who have been fucked up by having fucked up two parents household.
Sure.
You know, whether you know, both of the parents are codependent drug users or they're sexually abusive or whatever the hell it is. So with all things, there's no broad stroke here,
right.
but there is when you think about how we live under the socio-political influences out there, and the way that everybody is, I don't know, the murder weapon is the safe space, for example, for the average progressive in a time like this.
Yeah.
It's a safe haven where you can concentrate all of your attention to avoid responsibility for mental illness, for godlessness, for an amoral, not even an immoral society, an amoral society. It just lacks no morality because everything is subjective and all. This is the place that they largely created with very little resistance.
Yeah.
And then something like this happens and we have to hear the bullshit. Or Trey Gowdy. You want to talk about somebody fucked up? I'm literally a fucked up head, the most oddly shaped head in America.
He's such a weak man. Just a weak.
This is what I'm talking about. Another dysphoric head case goes on not only a politically terroristic rampage, but a sacrilegious jihad, okay, as oxymoronic as that may sound. And even Gowdy, though I think many of us have completely thrown him out a long time ago, as knowing that he was just an actor with no real nothing there. Even he, you expect this out of Tim Waltz, but even he did the whole bullshit, pretended that this is just what happens. He said, when you put a gun in a white boy's hands. American kids were bringing rifles to school until the middle 20th century. Rifle clubs were common in middle schools across the country. What happened suddenly in the second half of the 20th century? What awakened in the average white boy's DNA?
It's ridiculous.
Frank. It's to sidestep everything and not look at what causes are. And at the same time, you got to pity people who are caught in the updraft of the abuse cycle and are now growing up and growing into the shoes of an abuser themselves.
Yeah, of course.
You can show pity, but there needs to be action now.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you remove these people? How do you identify them and remove them? There can't be any more leniency.
No, and I've said his name on this show a million times. Jim Marrs. You want to go back and look at him. Look at some of the things he's talked about in the 90s and early 2000s. He identified all of this stuff way back then. Like, from my perspective, obviously, I'm a huge fan of human psychology, but also pharmacology, and understanding that people don't realize that when they get a drug from a doctor, they think mistakenly in their mind that the doctor knows exactly how this drug is going to work in their body and exactly what it's going to do. They have no idea. Frank, they have absolutely no idea. I mean, we just found that out with the SSRIs. Oh, it turns out that they work 50% of the time and they don't actually work by the mechanism we thought they worked, and we don't really understand. You are messing with an incredibly complicated and complex biological and biochemical system. You don't know what you're actually doing, and you have no ability to predict the outcome. So that's one of the first things we have to admit. But again, a Trey Gowdy or any other knucklehead on Fox is never going to say that, because Fox, like all the other news outlets, are brought to you by Pfizer or anybody else. So you're never going to hear the truth coming from those outlets.
September, you said, it was going to be a very interesting time for HHS and Robert Kennedy. Mm-hmm. September's in a couple of days. And then take a look at this headline from today. This was on the Gateway Pundit. RFK Jr. tortures Big Pharma after another mass shooting. Will conduct studies for the first time if America's over-medication and psychiatric drugs, if they want to see if over-medication may be driving violence epidemic.
I'm telling you got to go look up Jim Marrs. He's been talking about this he's gone now. He passed away in 2017. He was talking about this 30 years ago. He had a list of all the shooters at the time, the mass shooters at the time, and the pharmaceutical drugs they were on. He was sounding this alarm bell decades and decades ago, and no one's ever looked into it. Oh, but God forbid RFK looks into it, because that's just crack pottery, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, let's take another call. 216, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank. Hey, Jay.
Hey.
Nice talking to you.
How are you?
So I had two. I'm doing well, Frank. Doing well. So I had two things for you. The first one is something I don't think anyone has. I've never heard anybody talk about, but I've looked into it, and it's true. Okay, so fake sugar is created through genetically modified E. coli bacteria, the excrement of genetically modified E. coli bacteria. And when you look into the COVID jab, it's made the same way.
Huh.
And they try to say that it was the contamination, they didn't do a good job purifying, blah blah blah. But when you really look into it, they're using the same process. I was stunned.
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything you can send me an email just so I can understand it a little bit better. What you're saying, I would like to read whatever you've read, because otherwise it's the first time I'm hearing it.
It's one of those things where when you look into it, it is there. You just have to dig a little bit. But if you just look into the fact that saccharin and all of the fake sugars are basically the same for the most part. If you look into it, they're all created. It had a Department of Defense number originally.
Aspartame did, yeah.
Right. It was Don Rumsfeld that pushed it. That whole group of people that they slipped it in as soon as Reagan got in there. After it showed that it gave people cancer, it gave mice cancer in almost every trial. They always denied approving it, and then Reagan gets in, and Rumsfeld, boom, it gets approved.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was aspartame specifically. I think E951 was the number, and you're talking about aspartame. Yeah, that has quite the sordid history. I wasn't aware of the connection with anything in terms of mRNA, but that's an interesting connection. I will have to go look up.
Yeah, I'll have to check into it. And I think the E part is E. coli.
It certainly could be. It certainly could be.
Well, thank you for the call, sir.
You're very welcome.
And listen, whatever you got on, please send. I always am very interested to see what people are reading. Send your resources to Frank at quitefrankly.tv. I'd like to take a look. Whenever I'm just putzing around. It's 816. You're on the air with Frank and Jay. Go ahead.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, who's this?
Hi, Jay. I'm glad you're on. I've been waiting for you to come on for me to ask you, pistachios good or not good?
I'm a fan of pistachios. They can definitely be overeaten, but I think they're a good healthy fat snack. Sure.
Protein.
I don't usually look for nuts as a protein source because they're not a complete protein and there's more of a fat profile. So I wouldn't rely on them for a protein source, but definitely a good source of healthy fats. Because if you're looking at them as a protein source, you're gonna to get enough protein, you're gonna end up way overshooting the mark in terms of calories and total fat. Which again, I'm not afraid of fat, but it's just not really much of a protein source or a complete protein source.
Lawrence,
well, I know you're not good about oil, seed oils, and I know they call pistachio a nut, but I read that it's actually not a nut; it's a seed. That's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
And they do call it a complete protein because of the amino acids in there. And I certainly wouldn't rely on it on all my protein, but I just wanted to make sure it was, because of the seed oil stuff that you talk about, that it was okay.
I'm going to, just because off the top of my head, I don't know maybe I should, but I don't know the fatty acid profile of a pistachio off the top of my head, but I'm going to look it up and I'm going to give you the information, even if it's not right now at this second, but I will find out and I'll let you know what I think in the next couple of minutes. Cause I just want to see what fats predominate. That's
okay. Well,
Thank
you, caller. Let's go to someone else. 503, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Marge. How you doing, Frank?
Hello there. Hello there, Marge.
I'm grateful for the opportunity. I have a few stories about what you guys are talking about.
Well, give us your best one.
Okay. When I was in the military in 2003, they gave me 8 anthrax vaccines.
All right, Marge, you're gonna have to get me right up to the receiver. Speakerphone.
Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Frank.
What?
I feel like I failed you, buddy. I'm coming back. I'm sorry, Frank.
Oh, that's better.
I didn't know the rules. I was on a headset.
Okay. Go ahead, Marge.
So, in 2003, they gave me 8 anthrax vaccines at Offutt Air Force Base. I got 2 at a time. The first one I got, it felt like a wasp bite. And
oh, wait, Marge, hold on. Okay, here, take your breath, catch your breath.
Okay.
Get that heart rate down a little bit. Chill out. Okay.
I'm good.
My heart rate.
All right, so
I'm an Aries, Frank.
Yeah, well, good. So that makes 2 of us. Why 2 anthrax shots at a time?
My personal belief, I asked the lady, and she didn't give me an answer, but I did ask her why it hurt so bad, and she said because they stored it in formaldehyde.
I've heard that.
Okay.
And that's what fries our endocrine system.
So
I got 8. And I believe they were testing the COVID vaccines on us back in 2003.
But when you say 8 in what span of time though, Marge? Because
in 8 months, I got 2 at a time. They waited 2 months, and then I got 2 more, and then I we waited 2 months, and then I got 2 more, and then I got the last 2 after we waited 2 months. So
Does everybody else
8 and 8 months?
Is it an 8-shot cycle for anybody else who might be exposed to
No,
anthrax?
I was selected as a special military study for anthrax vaccines.
Whoa.
And I think it was malarkey. And I think that they were testing the COVID vaccine on us, and that's why they rolled it out so fast when they had the opportunity.
You said back when, what year was this again?
03.
03.
So they had 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
Because
so they had,
there's only 30% left of us that were in that study that are still alive.
That was the question I was going to ask you is what has your life been like since then? And how do you've been able to actually effectively track every other person that was in that program?
No. I've been able to come across people that have.
Okay.
So I take care of my mom. Like they said in '87 I was autistic, so those shots just shoot me like just shot me over the edge. Like as far as my endocrine system, like fight or flight, I have no flight.
Wow.
Okay.
But I meditate, and Jesus is my higher power. God, good orderly direction. Just do the right thing. Don't hurt anybody. And I'm big into community service. Where I live, I hand out water to homeless, and I sell T-shirts and stickers that say straight people like rainbows too, and they're in the color wheel because I'm autistic. So it's the spectrum, the color spectrum. Get it, Frank?
Yeah. I do. Now, Marge, so you're saying in 2003, you were already told that you were on the autism spectrum?
Neurodivergent, yes. Sorry.
Okay, but it was after these 8 shots, you feel like you went further into that headspace and into that.
Yeah, it was about 5 years after the shot. I moved into a house. I bought a house. Everything was going for me, and I could tell I just had all this anger inside. And I didn't know why. I didn't know what for. And then I started tracking stories of people I knew, because I used to be in recovery, go to a lot of meetings, stuff like that. And they would tell me about how their grandkids would go into the Marines, and then they'd get these shots. And then they had fried their brain. Wow. It made them too sensitive. They're trying to be tough, and it did the opposite. So it broke their psyche.
Marge, you said one way to describe the situation you're in right now. You said that on an adrenal level, it's always fight or flight for you, and it's more more particular.
Fight, flight.
Fight. That's why I was. So you found yourself becoming more aggressive. How do you control that? How have you learned to keep that somewhat under control if you're always wanting to throw down?
Well, it's about powerlessness to me. And what I do when I feel powerless, instead of getting angry, I got 2 20-pound dumbbells, and I do sets of 300 until I don't feel powerless anymore.
There you go.
Wow. So you literally, so you through prayer and absolute physical exhaustion. It's just physical exhaustion. That's been the prescription.
And taking care of my mom with the stressors of taking care of her, because she got her head slammed in a car door when she was 37. So when I was 15, I promised I'd never put her in a home, and I managed to stay true to that.
Wow, Marge, you're really
in a society that doesn't. The agencies don't support me in doing this. And I also have a brother who's the assistant chief counsel for the California Office of Parole that makes $240,000 a year, that told me that mom's your problem.
Oh.
So that I'm very anti-authoritarianism. I have my family's connected, and I'm a truth speaker, so there's no place for me there.
Well, I mean...
Oh, I was also on Crete when we bombed Iraq in 03. Wow. I was age flight line support.
So how old are you now, Marge?
I'm 51, Frank.
And you and I have to imagine you can squat a lot.
I could if I didn't have degenerative arthritis in my spine.
Now, was that something that you can track to either family, or was it an injury, or is this another thing that may have happened after your time in the military?
I just I've always worked more than used my brain, Frank. So it's just using my body. My dad's an Aries, so I got it from him. We're workhorses, so it's like it's a combination of all, I suppose. It's just wear and tear.
Are you April 2nd like me?
Oh no, I'm the 9th. I'm the 99th day of the year. See, I encompass the energy that Hugh Hefner, Jenna Jameson, Nas X encompass, but I live from my spirit and not from my ego.
Wow. I was going to say, that's a lot of sexual energy too. You put
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I transmute that with my exercise. I've been celibate 8 years.
You know, Marge, I just got a text message from my mother.
And good.
You know what she said to me? You know what she said to me? She said, "Can you please tell Marge I want one of those T-shirts? I want on the T-shirt it should say straight people like rainbows too."
I have them in black and white, and they're embroidered, so they're real nice.
Okay, well, I mean, listen, you do me a favor, Marge. Number one, yes. I want to hear from you a lot more. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, please email me, because if you actually do have an Etsy shop or something where you sell those shirts, I want to share the link with people, because I think you're going to get a lot of sales.
Oh, well, what I want to encourage people to do is, if a lot of people like to come to Taos, New Mexico, where I live, they sell them at a flower shop down here. Come on down to Taos and get one. How's that?
Well, if let's say somebody's 500 miles away, though. If somebody's...
All right. We'll see what I could do, because I'm so big on accountability, and I hate like being late for stuff, and mailing T-shirts and stuff like that kind of trips me out.
Got you. Okay.
So it's about accountability, you know, because my primary purpose is my mom, and I have. You know, I got 2 old dogs out of 4 that are just all racing to the Rainbow Bridge. So,
well,
these are side gigs I do, but they're my primary purpose.
And that's very respectable. And I think that just from what I'm seeing in the chat room right now, Marge, you might be able to bring Mom out for a nice dinner with this, with what you make off of these shirts. So.
Oh wow, that's rad.
Yeah.
See, I've been waiting for the right time, Frank. I appreciate you so much.
Well,
I emailed your website, but I sound like a freaking 3-year-old. I mean, I can say retard because that's what they said I was when I was 12. So, but I mean, I'm not very articulate with typing because my wires get crossed. So I do much better speaking. And I'm third eye activated in your chat.
Okay. Oh, all right.
When I call in. And I've done over 2.6 thousand videos since 2007. Just sharing my experience, my strength, and my hope to degrade this earth.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Oh.
Third eye activated?
Please don't subscribe, because I'm very controversial. I'm a heyoka.
Okay.
And people.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to push you.
No problem.
Don't worry about that. But
okay.
Please.
Well, no, I don't care if people come check it out. I would love that, but I'm not doing it for subscription.
I get you. Well, here's the first step. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Email me, please, frank@quitefrankly.tv, and if you see fit, send me a link to if you have your thing for sale on any website or something. Okay.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Frank.
All right, Marge. Have a good one.
You too. Be well.
There you go. Be well. Wow.
Okay. There's a lot there.
And listen, man, I know that some nights people, I understand, everybody, the crapshoot that is open lines. I understand the crapshoot that is non-screened open lines.
Happens to the best of them.
But that's why I do it.
That's gold.
that's why I have to keep doing it, man. Yeah. What am I going to do?
Just an update on the pistachios. More monounsaturated fat than polyunsaturated, so definitely a go-to. And you're actually right. There are complete essential amino acid profile, just very low in the branched chain amino acids, so not great at triggering muscle protein synthesis, but definitely a good snack. You get your healthy fats. That's what you want for pistachios. So there you go.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the fats. They're the good kind, and they're in their whole food form, so they're a go.
All right, let's see here. Rosie just said Marge is awesome. God bless Marge. Joe Martinez, thank you for the super chat. Let me see here. Haywood over on Rumble, the Quite Frankly Rumble. Then we're going to check Badlands in a second. says, y'all are expecting lazy, fat-ass 16 hours a day video game playing retards to do a push-up when they push up off the couch to go get more Frankenfood snacks and soda brought on food stand. No, Haywood. We don't.
Right.
The writers at the New York Times are pretending that is what RFK and Pete Hegseth are going to get people to do, that are otherwise sedentary, to just very unsmartly start trying to do 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups. That's
But that article had, like, what do they call it? The bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Jay Semo says, Jay is on fire tonight. Great show. Over on Badlands, AH13 says people need to look into transgenderism being on the autism spectrum. Throw all the vaccines on top, and along with the HRT and psych meds, you got one effed up population, but the population was created. Well, yeah. And listen, you don't have to go that far to see what parents, teachers, and pediatricians have been willing to do to children who are already dealing with something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When I see a little bit more autistic than most children being forced and being accommodated with dresses.
Yeah.
Or people with Down syndrome being put in dresses. And I mean, that makes me absolutely insane.
Yeah, because in the world we used to live in, the sane world, if Bobby says, I think I'm a girl, you say, no, Bobby, you're not. But today, I think in the state of California, you can actually get in trouble for telling the truth.
You might lose custody if you say it enough.
Right. So this isn't about the kids. This is about the adults wanting to play some fantasy game and making everybody go along with it. And that's where it has to stop. You just can't go along with it anymore. That's why I never, ever, even though I didn't understand at the time, I didn't understand that it was going to be connected to some larger thing. But when people started putting pronouns in bios, at first I just thought it was stupid. And I was like, well, I'm never going to do that. It's just stupid. But now I see just the insidious nature of those seemingly innocuous little moves that people make. And I tell people straight up, don't do it.
All right.
That's part of the problem.
Well, yeah. Well, we have a couple of minutes before Mollee shows up. So what I would like to do is real quick we didn't take an intermission tonight, but I'd like to take a really quick break to thank Badlands for syndication on a Thursday night again. And the first thing we are going to do is starting off with a really quick but amazing plug that I love giving for Viper bats. That's right, everybody. American-made, precision-crafted wood bats for athletes of all ages. Viper bats are made for players by players using hand-split maple, birch, ash billets. Ensure unmatched durability and big league quality. Founded by father and son with a deep love for baseball. I love it too, ladies and gentlemen. Every Viper bat reflects their player-driven passion and expertise. Tons of color options. 45-day warranty on most bats. Swing with confidence. Become a swinger with Viper bats. Viper bats crafted for players built to last. Swing with the best. Badlandsmedia.tv/bats. Use promo code Badlands15 for 15% off of non-blemished bats. And let me just say again, great accessories over there too. I've never owned a Viper bat myself, but I have, my friends, used on the bats that I have acquired and bought, because sometimes people just give me leftover stuff and I put it in my equipment bags and all that stuff. They have the grips that you can put on your wood bats, especially, or if you want to retape your aluminum bats, they have, I believe they're the ones who sell lizard skin, and it is a really great grip tape.
Yeah.
Great grip tape. So Viper bats, I can personally say, go ahead. Go ahead, especially if you got kids that are going to be swinging for the fences in the springtime. Be right back. We got one more thing to do.
Howdy, Badlanders. Looking for something new to grab from your friends at Badlands Media and Rise Attire? Summertime is here. We got you covered. All new tank tops for men and women, featuring new iterations of the Devolution design in black, red, white, and even blue and green digital camo. Sick. We got them for Psy-War and Clown World, too. How about these bad boys? Psy-War, Clown World, and Devolution beach towels to help you spark up a conversation with your new best friend or future spouse at the pool. And by popular demand, we've got all new athletic women's leggings that'll have you red pilling all the ladies in your Pilates class, whether they like it or not. Too bad. This is Badlands, baby, and we're strapped. Get some and support the new media parallel economy as much as fucking possible at badlandsmedia.tv/rise.
Lulu had a baby, she named him Tiny Tim. She put him in the piss pot to teach him how to swim. He swam to the bottom, he swam to the top. Lulu got excited and pulled him by his cocktail. Ginger ale, 5 cents a glass. If you don't like it, just shove it up your ass. Ask me no more questions, I'll tell you no more lies. A man got hit with a bag of shit, and that's the reason why.
Call me. I want to know what color your butthole is.
I always want to play that clip, and I don't know where to put it ever.
Put it wherever you want, Frank.
I just love the smile. It's such a soft smile at the end. Call me. It's like he wants to just be your friend. Listen, I'm a friendly guy.
Yeah. It's innocent.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. Anyway, so listen, ladies and gents. We got so much cool stuff going on. But let me just remind you before we get to it's the last half hour now. We're going to bring on Mollee from KetoBrainz.com, who has been an integral part of putting together this first year Jamboree that's coming up in a week. But after that, we're gonna say goodnight. The 9:00 end credits are gonna roll, and then I invite you all over to Pilled for a little bit of extra innings. Speaking of baseball, and in extra innings tonight, I've got 4 tabs open with some musical fun, like music fun and all that stuff that I want to show. I want to get Jay's reaction with some stuff. So it's going to be light, easy going. We'll be reading your gold pills and all that stuff. Follow us over. It's really easy. I'll be dropping the Pilled link in the description, in the chat rooms, but in a pinch, you can always just go to quitefrankly.tv and press play. The Pilled thing is embedded right there in the center of our internet headquarters at quitefrankly.tv. So there is that. Let's bring on Mollee, shall we? Shall we do it? I say we do. Mollee Rucker's back. And it is a Thursday night. It's so great to see her again. How the hell you feeling, Mollee?
Doing good. We are, apologies for the background, but we're still in the middle of renovating and moving in, but doing good. How are you guys?
Great.
It's nice and sunny there.
I was going to say.
So we are still getting accustomed to the fact that it is light until about 10:30 in Montana right now.
And that's just because of where you are latitudinally.
So,
is that latitude or longitude?
Longitude is
latitude is high.
No, latitude is
something, Jay.
I think it's latitude.
So, that is Keith. Yeah, so it's been weird. So my typical schedule in California was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were in bed at 7:30 or 8.
Damn.
And now I'm sleeping till 6, which I have not done in years, and then we're going to bed much later. So it's been interesting getting accustomed to that, but man, it is amazing up here. Man, it's amazing. You seriously need to come visit once the house is done being done.
You know what? I've got more than a handful of friends, good friends in Montana now that you're up there.
Where are they at in Montana?
Well, I think Matt Christensen, I don't know if he's near Bozeman or anything. I don't know. I don't know how close to the big cities they are.
Bozeman is where I got my stem cells. That's about 3 hours from here.
Okay. Well, and there's a number of longtime audience members and friends that are always like, "Hey, come out here," and you know. So I mean, I want to. I definitely do. Why the hell are you waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Well, so it's just what worked for me. So it's only been the past year and a half where I did not have an actual job or consulting gigs. So waking up and I have 2 very large dogs, which you might hear drinking and running behind here. One of which has leash aggression, and in Ventura, I needed to get out before everybody else got out so that I could walk my dog in peace. So I would get up, I would get Loki, my leash aggression guy, out, who looks like a dire wolf, and I would give him his 2-mile loop walk, and then I would get Avery out for her walk, and then I would go to CrossFit because this was before I tore my rotator cuff. So by 7 o'clock, I'd walked 4 miles, gone to CrossFit. I could get all the KetoBrainz orders packed and shipped, respond to all the customers, and then I could move over to my job or my consulting, make sure that all of that was taken care of, and then get back to KetoBrainz, and then, you know, have my life and hang out with my man and cook dinner and do all the other things.
She's making me feel lazy.
I know. I know.
And
Montana, there's nothing like I'm helping a number of people with their new businesses, and there are no words you can use to get them to fully understand the amount of time and effort you put into it. You don't know until you're in it. And if you're not prepared to wake up at 3 and work until 6:30 and still be answering emails when you're sitting in bed, and then wake up, get your coffee, sit back in bed, answer the emails, take care of people, you know, ship your orders, like make sure your shit is making it through customs from whatever country it's coming through. You just have to do it. There's all these people, no offense to anyone who went to school for business, you have no idea. Like I've all of these companies that reach out with these amazing plans about how they're going to help our product go viral and everyone's going to know about us. And it's like $10,000 a month. None of them, I want to know, has anyone here been a founder? Right. Has anyone here been a bootstrapped founder? Has anyone here started something from nothing and succeeded? If you have, then I will consider paying for your services. If you haven't, again, zero offense, I'm sure I can learn a lot from you, but it's just, you just have to do it. You have to do it. You have to mess up. You have to make mistakes. You have to forgive yourself for your mistakes because they're usually financial mistakes. And
hey, I went to college. One of my, I think I changed my major to business management after my sophomore year because I realized that the music management thing wasn't going to work out because I just really could not master music theory. It was the numbers of music theory that kept me out. So I said, okay, business management. And let me tell you something. Since I've gotten out of college, it's been nothing but starting businesses. It was, you know, personal training or opening up our first studio and all this and incorporating this and incorporating that. And then, of course, when that turned into nothing, I did not apply one damn thing I learned in college. Not one thing.
Kyle, who you guys still haven't met, who we should definitely have Kyle on because he can go on to all sorts of stuff. But Kyle, the other half of KetoBrainz, my little brother, he's got a master's in education. He's got something in linguistics, something in Spanish, something else, like a lifetime of debt, right? Because he graduated from high school in 2000, and he is in that group where like everyone said class of 2000, you just get the good grades and you go to college and you get the degrees and everything's going to be fine. And he is the biggest proponent of don't fucking go to college, do not pay for that. He ended up, he worked at this coffee shop in Santa Barbara the whole time through all his education, and those people were amazing and supported him. But he met a wedding photographer, and he always loved photography and he wanted to know how to make money off of it. And he became one of the best wedding photographers in Santa Barbara because he chose to apprentice with someone, quit working, and figure out the hard part of building a business, which is the only reason we have KetoBrainz, because Kyle had already figured out how to step out of the matrix and do his own thing. But for all of his quote unquote education and degrees, again, he'll be the first person to tell you, do not do that, especially these days.
Well, you know, I got to say, just for KetoBrainz sake, because again, I really wanted to have you on this week because tonight is like, next week is going to be Christmas Eve. No, actually, next week is going to be December 23rd.
I'm like, where are we? No,
it just it feels like it.
Right,
so I wanted to make sure that you were on with us tonight because you've been such a great partner in building up this event and organizing it and bringing in wonderful people and getting to meet people through you. But also, as we've gone on, I mean, every day I still get messages from people saying, Frank, Mollee I've been very blessed with this. Whoever I have worked with the show as sponsors, and perhaps somebody can match your customer service, but they're never going to beat it. And again, that's something else that you just have to, you can't learn inside of a school somewhere. And
I learned that over many years, and it's like, it is a privilege. I don't know how to explain it. It feels like a privilege and a responsibility to have been able to take my life experience, which happened to lead me to working at a supplement store, that happened to lead me to becoming a nutritionist, that happened to lead me to becoming a product formulator, that blah, 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 blah. It's a privilege to have produced something that people choose to spend their hard-earned money on. And it feels like a responsibility to each and every person who does that, because it feels so magical that people are willing to try a product that came from my years of experience and then to share their experience with that. So I never want anyone to feel bad, and I'm never going to take the tack of, the customer is always right, even when they're wrong, because you're offering them something and they've taken a leap to trust you with the thing you created. So to me, that is the most important thing. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Well, it's more. It definitely shows. It definitely shows. And then that there's a lot of people out there who are obviously they're all over KetoBrainz because it's good, and that's that. But
it literally came from me being a buyer and getting tired of being presented with product that looked beautiful, that did not do what it said, and had suboptimal amounts of ingredients, suboptimal quality of ingredients. For the amount, I tell you, when I was a buyer, when I was a formulator, when I was opening supplement departments for other companies, I had 2 giant cabinets full of free stuff because everybody wants onto the shelves of the company you work for. And the amount of that stuff that I actually used versus the shit I concocted for myself because I knew better, it's insane. It's just because it's free, I'm not going to use it. Like, right. What's in it? What's the ingredient profile? Is it worth it? So, and my brother reminds me of this all the time. I have all of this, what feels to me like accidental expertise and experience because of all the different levels I've worked in within the supplement and nutrition industry. And I don't look at it personally as the value that it is until I'm asked to help another company do a thing. And then I realize how little they understand, whether it's about, I fast-tracked a friend of mine's company to an amazing co-packer. And now I feel like I shouldn't have, because I feel like I should have let them flounder a bit longer so they understood how hard it was to co-pack.
Yeah, I know. Everybody has. I understand what you're talking about there. It's like you put so many years in, and I was like, I want to do something similar. Can you help me cut some corners? Like, no, you gotta suffer, man. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, and it's almost like I would imagine, like when parents set their kids up too well, it ends up being a disservice because you don't understand like the nitty gritty and the intricacies, and then I feel responsible. If I connect a company with a co-packer or a supplier or an ingredient company, I feel responsible for how they treat that company. And if they don't understand, that relationship, like I'm always like, I really hope they behave nice. I really hope they understand like the favor that's been given. And
Well, you know what? Before we leave, because we only have 20 minutes left of the episode. Before we leave, we're going to go over again all of the great things that for the rest of August, which is just a couple of days from now. I know that you're just opening up the treasure chest for people, and I want to get around to that. We'll do plugs at the end. But in the next couple of minutes, I wanted to talk to you guys about peptides again, because the last time we all got together, we were able to broach that topic of the technology itself. RFK Jr., he has been kind of like dancing around the whole idea because he's been talking a lot about alternative therapies and medicine. I've also seen a lot more direct pushback in the media and the corporate media. I've seen some CBS articles and stuff like that have been talking about the Wolverine peptide, BPC 157. It's not approved for human use yet. So whenever I see them trying to poo-poo something, and now I want to talk to you guys about.
So this is, I'll try to be really fast. It's not on the topic of peptides, but it's on the topic of something else. And Jay, we'll have to talk about it sometime, but I live in a tiny town now in Montana, and the FedEx place that I go to has this wonderful dog and this lady, and we were talking about the ages of our dogs. Rapamycin. Rapamycin is a drug that came from some soil critters on Rapa Nui, and amazing research on rapamycin. Rapamycin is primarily used as an organ rejection medication. So they expected they would find cancer in all of these people on this medication, but none of them had cancer, literally zero. They start looking into this. This is a longevity medicine. We can't study it in humans because of the laws, but you can study it in dogs. So there is a man named Matt Kaberlein who has the Dog Longevity Project, and he is actually able to do studies that we should be doing on humans on rapamycin. And it drives me nuts. I had to buy rapamycin for myself at an obscene price in order to give it to my senior dog. All of these things drive me nuts because there are tools that are available. And I'm sorry, we don't have all the information on anything. Give me a piece of paper to sign that says, I take responsibility for choosing to put this substance in my body.
Exactly.
I can buy this for my dog, but I have to go through hoops to buy it for myself. We can do studies on longevity in dogs, and we cannot do them in humans. It's insane.
I mean, listen, hey, it was in similar sense during 2021, 2022, 2020, when everybody started putting two and two together with different types of zinc ionophores, whether they be just quercetin.
Frank,
or hydroxychloroquine.
None of this was new. Jay knows this. I have been selling quercetin and zinc gluconate, the right form, to people for 20 plus freaking years. Elderberry, the way it works with viruses.
Oh, I got all kinds of pushback on that. Oh, because once you label something, Molly, once you label it novel, then you can wipe.
Okay, so I'll tell you, I was still working for a grocery store chain as the supplement buyer for over 30 stores when the pandemic hit. Let me tell you, it was insane. I was doing everything I could to buy pallets and pallets and pallets of zinc and zinc lozenges and the right form of zinc and elderberry, and then watching people change their websites so they didn't get shut down because all of the education on elderberry went away overnight on every website because every company got afraid. And my whole job became sitting on a computer trying to find whiskey companies with distilled alcohol that they were now turning into sanitizer because no one else had sanitizer and everybody wanted sanitizer, and I'm the buyer and it's my job to make sure that all of my stores have this stuff. It was the craziest thing to me because this is not how my job normally went. And you probably went through the same thing. Like for me, I primarily already worked from home. My life did not change at all. I had to wear masks only when we were opening stores because legally in in where I was working and in California and the company I was working for, I had to do it. But I was like, my life didn't change at all. I have never had health insurance. I think that my mom was afraid. My dad was a hippie. I think he got mad, but I think I got flu shots, the shots when I was like 4. I don't do any of that. So the insanity of that time for me, like the only thing it changed is that every once in a while people would be like, we're going to be healthy. And all of a sudden, all of my trails were full of humans for like a week. And then they forgot being healthy like the next week. Like it was insanity. But again, Jay, I'm going through this thing now, and I think it's just because I'm old. Like all these new influencers are talking about shit, and I'm like, this is not new.
I know.
Information.
Oh, I know.
But think about it, because when I was 24 and I got into this, that's probably how the people who were, I'm close to 50, that's probably how those people felt. Like to me, like CoQ10, oh my goodness, it's been around forever. But to me, it was brand new. So I'm out there like an influencer on the sales floor, like, do you know about this amazing thing? And so it's interesting to be here now and have all of these, this new information that's been around forever. The bright side of COVID to me is that people are realizing they must take responsibility for their own health.
Yeah.
And even if it's only partial, like I'm not seeing it as a good thing to not have insurance. They just don't offer anything I want to pay for. So I'm not going to do it personally. But for a lot of people, it has opened up their minds to the fact that they need to at least own their health 20% of the time.
Right.
Like you got to own part of it, guys. Part of it.
Well, and to fast forward to now, like I never knew about this stuff until you guys talk to me about it. That we still didn't even touch that whole topic of bioregulators. I want to know about that. I want to know about the almost like the fall of the Soviet Union, kind of a rediscovery of them. Jay, I can't wait for that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because the fall of the Soviet Union thing. So Jay, are you familiar with like the racetams and Phenibut? When I discovered Phenibut was before the internet got good. So there was a site that talked about Phenibut, and I'm probably completely destroying the story, but the story that I would tell people when I was able to get my hands on Phenibut and sell it was basically when the Iron Curtain fell, there was a short period of time where the Russians could study whatever they wanted. The government wasn't telling them what they had to study, what they had to not study, and they wanted to make superhuman brains. And during this time, they were looking into this class of nootropics, and they needed something so that their cosmonauts didn't freak the frick out when they had to go out onto this spaceship and do things. Mm-hmm. So they came up with this stuff called Phenibut, which is insane. It's amazing. So I ended up doing Phenibut and magnesium and calling it space juice, and I would take it every night before bed, and I would recommend that everyone take space juice. But sorry, Frank,
what the hell? Great. Now, we got 13 minutes left, and now, and that sounds like a conversation I want to do instead. But
well, we could do it along.
What the hell?
We could do it with the bioregulators.
What the hell is Phenibut? I need to. What the hell is that?
So Phenibut is very powerful. So if you take GABA, so you can ingest GABA as a supplement, but GABA cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. So for me, GABA is a very poor experience because typically anxiety starts in the brain and then goes to the body.
What's GABA though?
GABA is your primary calming neurotransmitter.
Okay.
So you have 4 primary neurotransmitters. We have acetylcholine, we have dopamine, we have GABA, we have serotonin. And we could have a whole fun conversation about the fact that all of us genetically start out with 1 or 2 of those being our dominant ones. Different conversation, but GABA is your primary calming neurotransmitter. So we can ingest GABA as a supplement. It makes the body calm, doesn't touch the brain. It's a really weird experience for me. Don't recommend it. L-theanine crosses the blood-brain barrier, helps your brain make more of its own GABA. So it is a better experience.
And that's in KetoBrainz.
Right.
Correct. And Phenibut, there are different receptor sites for all neurotransmitters, and I might destroy this, so apologies. I'll look it up and send you a link. But Phenibut hits something like the GABA B receptor instead of the GABA A receptor. It is incredibly potent. People can use it to get off opioids and other drugs. I have taken too much of it, and it is a rather fun experience. It feels like your brain is swimming in your own head. But the biggest thing that for me, I am actually not a social person. I'm just not. I could be in a cave all day with my dogs. Phenibut to me, when I would wake up in the morning after using Phenibut, there was none of this like too much self-awareness where you're too aware of the world being aware of you. So you just were like, it took away this layer of like, I tend to be too self-aware and too concerned about what the world is thinking or seeing or this or that. And I was just freaking gone. But you have to take a break with Phenibut. You can take too much Phenibut. It is completely synthetic. Like peptides, it lives in this weird world of not a drug, not a supplement.
Right.
Good for you if you can get it in. So it isn't always easy to get. You typically have to get it from like synthetic nootropic sites. Like there was one called there were all of these sites that were like live past 100 and this and that were able to get it in, but they always had to relabel it because it's a part of a whole class of things. So Phenibut, and then there's a class of completely synthetic nootropics that you do need to be careful with called the racetams. So there's all these different racetams, and if you don't know what you're doing, you completely deplete your personal choline levels. So you really have to make sure that you're replenishing your choline levels. So they're very drug-like.
So this sounds like it's something that this is why governments were probably studying it, because there's so many things you have to account for to make it work well.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's why you use L-theanine in KetoBrainz, because it can cross the blood-brain barrier. It can increase GABA, but can also compete with glutamate receptors, so that you're kind of like you're balancing out that excitatory.
Well, and theanine also tickles the dopamine and acetylcholine receptors.
Right.
Like when I think of things that we can ingest, I think of like, cocaine punches your dopamine receptor, right? A cacao beverage kind of gives it a hug.
Right.
So especially if I'm creating a product that I say everyone can take, I don't want to be punching people's neurotransmitters.
Right.
I want to be hugging them.
Yeah.
I want them to have a positive experience. So, tyrosine, depending on who you are, can punch your dopamine receptors or be great for you. But theanine isn't going to punch anything. Theanine is not going to punch a dopamine receptor and make you feel like you're on crack, or punch a GABA receptor and make you feel like you're on gabapentin. So,
what's the dose of L-theanine in a standard KetoBrainz scoop? Do you know?
250 milligrams.
Okay, so that's right in the sweet spot. Okay,
right at that sweet spot. I've only met a couple of people in my life, and one of them was a gal I worked with. And this is something I can send to you, Frank, to share with people. There is a, what is the guy's name? So there's a book. He is a neurologist, and he helps you understand what your primary neurotransmitters are for you as a human from birth, to help you understand how to leverage supplements or drugs. Because one thing I ran into in working in a supplement department and people coming in and saying they were depressed, I can't just give them St. John's wort. You can be depressed because you're low dopamine. You can be depressed because your cortisol is tanked and you're in some sort of adrenal fatigue. You can be depressed because dopamine is low or serotonin is low. Right. And I needed a starting point to actually help humans. So this book called The Edge Effect, people would be shocked because they thought I made commission, which I didn't, but I would recommend they not buy anything. I would recommend they either buy the book or go online and download the test and do the test to help me understand which of their neurotransmitters personally were imbalanced so I could put them on the right path.
Yeah.
And so there are things where, Jay, I might want to, punch his dopamine receptor, and I might want to punch your acetylcholine receptor, because there's things that are different. Right. So with KetoBrainz, it was important to me that we were just hugging neurotransmitters in general for the majority of the population, and not like, well, this is made for someone who's like dominant in this and needs this. So there is a lot of nuance to all of this with neurotransmitters, with peptides, right? With the use of peptides. These feel like different conversations. so I apologize for the tangents, but to me, this is about, Frank, what's your toolbox? What's your toolbox for your wife? Jay, what's your toolbox? What's Aurora's toolbox? What's my toolbox? We need a little bit of self-knowledge and understanding when we get outside of certain supplements to understand what should be in our toolbox for optimal longevity would be great, but let's focus on reality, health span.
Yeah.
Optimal health span, feeling epic till you're 90 or 99 or 140 and then you drop dead, right? Like you're doing jumping jacks and doing what you love and then you go away, not 30 prolonged years of feeling like shit.
Yeah.
From 7 on,
That's the
right?
thing. That's the thing that sucks is the you know, don't get old. Everybody, don't get old, kid. That's all you keep hearing. And I'm just like, shit, does it really always have to be that bad?
No. And so here's one thing I'd like to say, and I don't know if anyone feels this, like I don't come from any sort of structure. And I have a brother. I don't have a bunch of women around me. And here's what I have found. People older than you love to say, oh, wait till you hit 30. Oh, wait till you hit 40. Oh, wait till this. Don't get old. You have all these quote unquote, when you have a nice life with a proper family and everybody gets together, part of what comes with that are people saying things like that. And it gets into people's heads, right? And it is an accidental toxin if you are not watchful of it. And I remember going through that, 29, working in the supplement industry, a woman literally 8 months older than me going, oh, just wait till you hit 30. I'm like, I'm 29.25. I'm fine.
Yeah, is it really going to make that much of a difference?
Yeah. And so I remember like going through this at 25 and then 30 and then 40. And finally I was like, no, these women and men have other people in their lives telling them, just wait till you feel like shit.
Yeah.
It's like they accidentally can't wait for you also to be going through what they're going through.
Misery loves company.
Misery loves company. So I think it is kind of also important to really I think there is a way to ingest that as, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And understand they're not trying to be dicks, but also shield your brain from the poison that is people saying
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk, you're talking about toolbox, and maybe we do a longer segment on this sometime soon. But the peptide thing, I realized it was so much bigger after maybe it was last week or so. I was preparing for the show with G. Edward Griffin. And of course that show has been taken off of some sites because of these types of talks we're talking about. But in one in particular, I wanted to talk about suppressed therapies and cures. And just in my going through my notes and all my past things, my files and stuff, I remember people like Stanislaw Berzinski, who obviously the FDA, the AMA come after him. Sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is being called a quack.
Yeah.
The worst thing is they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And steal your work. But this guy, Berzinski, and he's in his 80s now, I believe, but he still has a clinic open in Houston. And I realize now, because it started coming together, that what he did was, again, he was creating, and still does, toolboxes for each person in what their diagnosis is, and it was all peptide. I believe it's peptide based.
Oh, interesting.
I believe it is, and I gotta go dig some stuff up, and I would love to make that the basis of another talk that we have.
Well, I wish people. So when something becomes a buzzword, it becomes other, and then it either becomes something to fear or something to covet for rich people, right? A peptide, okay, hair is keratin. This is collagen. These are proteins. Peptides are special proteins with long and varied chains of amino acids. That's it.
Yeah.
And the body knows exactly what to do with them. This is not a crazy new therapy. This is not a crazy drug. This is brilliant, maybe autistic. I love them. People who dig into the what, why, and how and find a chain of amino acids, and then we call it a peptide like BPC or GHCKU or KPV or epitalon or all these different ones, right? So this is something that Elon Musk has spoken of this, and I don't remember the quote, but it's even in talking to my man with his military stuff, acronyms, they mess with people's brains because it creates a language that you don't have access to,
Yes.
right? So the government has this, the military has this, medicine has this, pharmaceuticals have this. They make up a name for a thing, they make up a name for a molecule, and then it either lives outside of your cognitive ability. You think, oh, I'm not smart enough to understand, or it lives outside of how much money you have to spend for someone to tell you what the right thing is to take.
Right.
That is what bothers me, is these accidental walls. We do it to ourselves, right? Like, I'm not a fancy person. I know I'm not a fancy person, but I do my best to not be afraid of fancy person, quote unquote, fancy person language, and do my research to understand the thing and then make a decision for myself. Yeah. Peptides have become either this boogeyman thing or fancy, expensive people thing.
Right.
And while they're not inexpensive, they are for all humans trying to feel their best. That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
cool.
I have testimonials here. With the, I don't know, Jay, what do you want to do? You want to just do a little bit more on this on the other side of the end credits?
Sure.
All right, Mollee, stick around with us. We'll do some extra innings with you. Maybe we can, because I would like to get just at least this out of the way. No. I would hate to stop this right here. So we'll do a little extra innings with you, and then and we'll make sure that after the event we can settle in for at least 45 minutes of one specific topic. But before we leave, let everybody know what is on the table for all Quite Frankly audience members going into the last weekend in August.
Yeah, so basically any order you place with any Frankly coupon code, you're going to get 3 free samples of our new creatine. Any orders over $150, we're going to give you a full 30 sachet bag of our creatine. We also have the deepest discount we offer for the Mind Thy Mitochondria website, which is where you get the BPC. It's 25% off with Frankly 25. Or if you want BPC, instead of using that coupon code, if you put 3 BPC in your cart, you will get 1 free. So I think that's what we've got going.
There's quite a few people that are using it right now, including me and Lauren, and I can't wait for Lauren to report to Jay what she's feeling, because especially when you're talking about gut, that's what I really wanted to talk about tonight. Some more gut issues, and then of course how everybody else. It's almost like an open, maybe not too well hidden secret. There's a lot of people in my life who are already on it. That it was almost like one of those Roger Rabbit shaving a haircut trick. You knock on the what's the secret knock on the wall, and everybody's talking about it. I was at my buddy's 40th birthday party about a month or so ago, and it came up. I forgot how it came up. Just I don't know, carelessly, and he said, yo, how are you taking it, orally or whatever? Because he had just had his shoulder replaced.
Oh, okay.
And everybody is, everybody that's getting dinged up right now that I know is,
Number one.
Dude. I said, holy shit. So that's why I want to know more about, what's going on from the development standpoint. Yeah. And now there's all these testimonials coming in from people in the audience.
I almost have, jealousy is the best way to say it. So there's this excitement / jealousy that I get when I know someone's trying something for the first time, because I remember when I first added that tool, and I was like, all of the things that I felt, because some of these tools like the Verso NMN and the BPC and the KetoBrainz, I've taken them for so many years that I'm multiple years away from how poignant the change was when I took it. And it takes me running out of these things. Like in CrossFit, it was easier for me to see because most of the classes, like one of the classes, there were guys my age or a couple of guys older, but usually I was the oldest person in the class, but I was never laying on the floor panting like everybody else who was 10, 20 years younger than me. And I just got used to how quickly I recovered, how not sore I was, how I could go to CrossFit 7 days a week and walk my dogs and go hiking and run a business and do this and do that. Because I had carefully over the years constructed my toolbox for me such that I get to feel better than the 21-year-old laying on the floor after a CrossFit workout, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
So there's this excitement / jealousy when someone is first taking BPC or first experiences proper brain function, or, first take SAMe if they have MTHFR mutations. Like, there's a little part of me that's like a little cheerleader that's excited knowing what you're going to feel, because you get used to feeling amazing, so you don't remember what it felt like to not feel amazing.
Yeah.
So
Well, then, okay, so then we got to say these testimonials for the time that you're on the main show.
We could start the episode with what is BPC, and we can go through some of the science and explain it to people.
It's just interesting to me because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it pop up in the news, and I'm starting to see the traditional battle lines form where there's resistance, and here is people who are open to it, and the more these people over here who are open to it become more curious about it, we're going to probably see more viciousness come from it. So once I start seeing that happening, I just want to get the lay of the land before everybody starts becoming a secondary expert by way of CNN.
Right.
And that's just the.
I mean,
I think that when you don't have access to the thing and it seems scary, apologies, but NPCs or well-indoctrinated humans, they need to feel that they're not going to be kicked out of their group.
Yeah.
And they say words, they just start saying words and they don't know what they're saying. And I have learned there's nothing I can do for those people.
No.
I would not open my mouth at CrossFit about keto or carnivore or fasted workouts or anything that they thought was insane. And if they asked me and I could gauge that they were really interested in the what, the how, and the why, I would spend as much time as possible helping them. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
It feels good. But I am not going to go out there and be a martyr and a screamer, because you cannot change people's minds. You have to wait until, unfortunately, a health issue cracks their worldview open, and then they are open and infant and waiting for possibilities. Yeah. And it is unfortunate, but that's what I see.
Well,
that's true.
Mollee from KetoBrainz.com. The link is in the description below. Of course, if you are a monthly subscriber, you get a recurring 20% off. But if you listen, there's a whole bunch out there. I actually have a couple of those creatine sticks that came in. I haven't had creatine since high school, so I can't wait to
add it to your just 5 grams a day in your morning coffee. We're not doing loading doses like in the 80s and 90s where you're taking 30 to 50 grams with your orange juice before you're trying to
no cell tech loading phase.
No loading phase. So what you are loading, but 5 grams. So I think Gabrielle Lyon, one of these gals, talked about it, but like 5 grams a day over 7 days becomes your loading phase.
Yeah.
Now your cells are kind of full. There are, if you have Alzheimer's or worried about Alzheimer's, you might want to do 30 grams a day, but you're still going to want to work up to that because we don't necessarily know,
It's just interesting. It's interesting. So, the stack is interesting. Mollee, this has been wonderful. Are you going to be out at are you going to be in spirit or in person here?
I am having such a hard time making that final decision.
It's okay.
We just have so much going on.
I get it.
Every day I almost decide. So I will decide very soon. I'm so sorry.
You still got 8 days.
Don't worry. Listen, whatever it is.
I would love to be there. I would love to be there. And I've looked at the different flights and where they go and where to stay. So I'm ready to, it's easy to pull the trigger once I can make the decision.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Whatever is supposed to happen will happen. And like we've said before, it's just the first of hopefully many. And again, thanks for all of your support. And I hope that people at least reach out and inquire about some work that you're doing, because she's very generous with her time, ladies and gentlemen. Ask questions. Mollee's there. KetoBrainz.com. Yeah. And very responsive on Twitter as well. Twitter and Instagram. So go and check her out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mollee.
Bye, Mollee.
Good night, guys.
See you later. All right, everybody. So that'll be that. Let me make sure that I've got everybody's super chats, and then Jay and I are going to pop over for Instagram extra innings. Azure Skies says, "What a gas show! You have the greatest guests, Frank. I love hanging out with the people that become friends are the best. That's the That's it. You know, Eli P says, greatest show on the internet. Love the shows with you and Julian. Rosie says, Marge is awesome. Now, here's the thing before. Road Trip had said, BPC 157 over the past month has helped both my hands from carpal tunnel that I've had for years. Also, unexpectedly, both knees are better. A spot I've battled for years on tongue from past cancer is healing.
Wow.
So this is...
well, you're talking about regulating growth factors, has an anti-inflammatory effect, helps with collagen synthesis, helps with angiogenesis, which is the formation of new blood vessels. So you're getting circulation, better circulation. You're even getting healing nutrients to places that don't necessarily have better circulation. So there's a variety of things that could be happening there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put that in my notes for the next time that we're on. Let's see here. Shotzi says, question for Jay. I've been taking... We'll take this to the other side. It's about BPC in a fasted state. We'll do that on the other side.
That's how you want to take it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Real quick, we did a Johnson. Jay, what percentage Neanderthal are you?
0.
0?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts about quinoa? We'll do that on the other side of extra innings. Will Brainz be on the Jamboree menu? No. No, there's no Brainz on the menu. There's chicken heart.
I don't remember.
That's it. Walsey V says, I got $5 if Anthony can do an AI of Nadir completing the Maha challenge. Wait, I got $5 if Anthony, my brother, can do AI of Nadir completing the Maha challenge. I don't know
who's Nadir.
I don't. This confuses me, Walty. I'm very sorry. The whole thing's confusing. Anyway, thank you everybody so much. I'll be reading your gold pills on the other side of the end credits as well. Get over there because it's going to be fun. I have some funny things. I can't wait to get Jay's reaction. You guys have been the best. Talk to you soon. I'll probably be live tomorrow for a coffee stream. Tomorrow night, 7:00, there is a premiere on Rumble from last week's Saturday show. Many of you need to see. So it's going to be like I'm not off tomorrow night. 7:00, you're going to love it. Very, very fun show. And then yeah. Now Monday's Labor Day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably be doing a coffee stream on Monday, maybe something from the yard or something, but nothing official at nighttime. Then we'll have Tuesday, Wednesday, something impromptu on Thursday, but not the show you would usually expect on a Thursday night, just because it's the night before the hosting over here. So I'll probably just be setting up. Maybe I'll do a stream from the phone or something to rope you guys in with some fun.
Yeah, you'll never know what you get that night because I'll be up here that night too.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit of an awkward week next week, but awkward and exciting.
Yeah.
So join us for extra innings, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for some coffee on Ustream, on YouTube, maybe Instagram Live as well. Who the hell knows? But thank you guys, one and all.
I'll catch you on the flip side.